It says the cost of a taxi ride. Suppose the distance from one of the local hotels to one of the Western dance clubs in Austin is 12.4 miles. If the fare in the taxi gives the charge for that trip as $16.50, is the meter working correctly? So we're going to go back. I'm going to read this information that they give us at the top of the problem here. At one time, the Texas Junior College Teachers Association annual conference was held in Austin. Okay. At that time, a taxi ride in Austin was $1.25 for the first 1/5 of a mile and 25 cents for each additional 1/5 of a mile. Use this information for problems 41 and 42. Okay, so it looks like we're talking about fifths of a mile. That's what we're going to be charged by. So either $1.25 for the first fifth and then 25 cents for each fifth after that. So looking at my problem right here, it says that the distance from one of the hotels to Austin is 12.4 miles. I'm going to write that down. 12.4 miles. If the fare in the meter in the taxi gives the charge for that trip as $16, is the meter working correctly? So 12.4 miles costs, just writing down the information we have, $16.50. All right, so that's 12.4 miles. Well, I need to know how many fifths of a mile we're talking about. So I'm going to need to take that 12.4 miles and divide it by 1/5. I need to know how many fifths are in 12.4. Remember, when I'm dividing, that is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So I'm going to take 12.4 miles and multiply it by the reciprocal of 1/5, which is 5/1. When I multiply that out, I get 62, which is the number of 1/5 miles in 12.4 miles. So I have 62 1/5 of a mile. So to figure out how much the taxi is going to cost, the first fifth mile, so the first 1/5 mile is going to cost me $1.25. Then for every additional 1/5 mile, it's going to cost me 25 cents. And I need to figure out how many additional 1/5 miles I'm going to have. Well, I have 62 altogether. That's including the first mile. So to figure out the additional ones, I'm going to take 62 and subtract off that first mile. And then my question is, does that equal $16.50? So I'm going to have to add these two together to see if they come out to be $16.50. The first thing I'm going to do is rewrite this as $1.25 plus 0.25 times 61 equals $16.50. So I end up with $1.25 plus $15.25 equals $16.50. And when I add $1.25 and $15.25, I come up with $16.50. So did the cabbie charge them the correct amount? Was the meter working correctly? Does $16.50 equal $16.50? Yes. And so the answer to the question is yes. The meter worked correctly.